Namaste and Jojalapa. The voice you are listening right now is the presentation of Anak Media for Nepal Bhasa Academy, Neva FM 106.6 MHz radio. I am Khemnath Sitola, an English teacher and the head teacher of Adinath Secondary School, Chabar. Today I am speaking on this radio education program conducted by Kirtipur Municipality. I am here to facilitate the teaching and learning of Class 10 English. This program is broadcast every Monday at 9 a.m. I will be together with you for about 30 minutes. Dear students, last Monday, we did exercise Unit 9 and today's turn is Unit 10. So let's see your book, Unit 10. And Unit 10 begins with reading. Number A says engage yourself, and there are two sayings, two statements given in the beginning. Read the sayings given below and discuss the questions in a group. The first saying or quotation is, if history were taught in the form of stories, it would never be forgotten. And this was said by Rudyard Kipling, a very famous novelist, British novelist who was born in India, Rudyard Kipling. And we have second saying, second statement, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. And it was from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then we have the question, what do these proverbs mean? What do these proverbs mean? And we have two proverbs, two sayings. So their interpretation can be like this. The first saying by Rudyard Kipling means that stories and arts make a permanent impression or a lasting impression in the hearts and minds of the people, and therefore we do not forget them, even the facts of story. Similarly, the second proverb, the second saying means that we should be voicing our ideas, raising our voice, and struggling for betterment until the end of our living or until our death. By two proverbs by two famous people, and one is Rudyard Kipling, the British novelist, and second, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an American citizen, Martin Luther King, and human rights activist and civil rights campaigner. After that, we have the reading text. Look at the title of the text given below. Can you guess what the text is about? It says, and the text may be about a woman named Yogmaya who has contributed a lot for social reform or social change in Nepal. Dear students, today I want to give you some extra information about Yogmaya or Yogmaya Neupane, and some information you can find by reading the text, and some more information I will provide you today. So before going to the text, listen carefully. I will tell you something about Yogmaya Neupane. And a novel was written by Niharika, and her books were best sold. Now, Yogmaya or Maya Devi Neupane. She was the daughter of Sri Lal Neupane and Chandrakala Neupane. Yogmaya's father name was Sri Lal Neupane and her mother's name was Chandrakala Neupane. She gets married in the very early age, where her husband's house was too much oppressive towards her, brutal to her, oppressive towards her. She was tortured, made to work till late night from the early morning, but was not shown a pint of sympathy. She never got sympathy, consolation, and reward from her in-law's family. Being irresistible for the lap and love of her mother, she leaves the house, which becomes a sin as well as a bane for her and her family. The struggle she faced until she reaches her parental house was one of the stories where the torture and abandonment she had to face after getting lost for 3 days on her way to home were the next. Her father's effort to send her back to her husband's house went in vain when the Koirala family, Koirala family took the issue of Maya Devi getting lost for 3 days. Maya Devi then started living in her parental house, because her husband did not accept her because she was lost for 3 days. She was taken as someone who had ruined one's own life. One day, when her father himself blamed her for getting involved with a man having the surname Cornell, caste name Cornell, she could not think about staying in her own parental house. She left it with the same man she was blamed with or charged with. She fled, fled, to Assam. Assam is a state of India. She fled to Assam and started working. Her affection towards Cornell was growing, but suddenly he died. Unfortunately, he died. And this means her Mr. Cornell was her second husband. Later, Nainakala's father, Nainakala is her own daughter, but her husband's name was not mentioned because he died, gave her the shelter, the prestige and love too. The family used to go to perform religious acts time and again when a Brahmin one day told in his preaching or teaching that marrying others' wife is a sin, and sin, opposite of virtue. Thinking about the love and care Nainakala's father has given, she did not want to lead him towards the hell. She started living a renounced life and thought of being ascetic. Her husband died and again she became helpless. Because of her closeness with saints and rebels of those times, she used to feel that she needs to work a lot for her own place. She then wrote a letter to her brother Agnidhar Neupane, her brother, to take her back to Majua Besi of Bhojpur district. Leaving her daughter to Ganga, her sister-in-law Maya Devi started her religious journey and started performing the rigorous sadhana. She used to meditate near fire in summer and stay inside the cold water during winters. She used to eat a little and meditate. Though she opposed the rights of Brahmin society, which discriminated the people from higher or lower castes, her meditation was guided by the Hindu philosophy and spirituality. She started spreading the message of spirituality as well as the opposition towards the trends of discriminatory society, the injustice of haves towards have-nots, and the tyranny of Rana regime was on its full fledged. She even opposed those activities of oppression and created Hajurbani, Hajurbani. Her Hajurbani were the lyrical poems of revolution. Slowly, the followers of Yogamaya started increasing and she resided in Majua Besi, Bhojpur, spreading the message of revolution and spirituality. Her widowed daughter Nainakala, widowed sister-in-law Ganga, and other women in the society became the part of her campaign. Even the males, enlightened persons like Prem Narayan were part of the campaign. When the society faced smallpox as epidemic disease, Thuli Hajur or Yogamaya was there to help them fight the disease. They even gave the residence to the slaves of the time who were freed by Chandra Samser, Rana Prime Minister. Later, the pilgrimage of her towards the Himalayas the petition they gave to the contemporary government and her visit to Kathmandu, where the notable or renowned practices Yogamaya made. Due to her rebellious and irresistible nature against the domination or torture towards women, so called lower classes and people of low economic conditions. Ranas felt that she was against the regime and was a political threat. Her arms for truth was ignored by the state, which led her to take the decision of burning oneself in a pyre. And this pyre is pyre, funeral pyre. She even sent the petition of threat to the state. If it is ignored, she along with her 204 followers will burn themselves, that is, take Agni Samadhi. When this decision was made and the message was sent, she along with those followers were jailed, and it took 3 years for all of them to get freed from the prison. When they all were freed, once again they planned for the mass suicide and got succeeded when Yogamaya along with her 67 followers took Jal Samadhi in the current of Arun river. Arun is a part of Saptakoshi river and the branch river of Saptakoshi. In the river Arun, they took Jal Samadhi and total followers were 67, including Yogamaya. In the novel, the narrator Sani Hazur, Ganga Neupane, along with her daughter Dukkana, also took Jal Samadhi. The novelist ends this novel going through her experiences of how she had been able to collect the information about Yogamaya, her visit to Bhojpur, and the help she got. The imaginary character, her brother, in the novel brings suspense on her own life. It reflects that she might have faced the misery of losing one's family member as if he was a martyr. Now, dear students, I will give you a brief analysis. The novel Yogamaya recites on the important historical events of different time, that is, during the period of Ranas or Ranacracy, period of Panchayat, and the present. The novel starts with the descent and paralyzed life of Parijat, where she was in an observation by the government. And the researcher of Yogamaya first time was Barbara Nimri, a foreigner. Even she felt that her collection on Yogamaya may be regarded as suspicious. When Yogamaya started her revolution, it was the period of Rana regime, a tyrannical rule of Rana dynasty. Felt Yogamaya's voice for justice was a political threat against them. The novelist imaginary character, her brother might have been the victim of the moment of the present time too. Yogmaya speaks the voice of Nepali women of the rural part of that time. During the period of Yogmaya, women were married in a very early age. They have to conduct all the household works, though were dominated in the society. The males could marry as many as they like. They could even marry after 45 days of the death of their wives, but women were forbidden to do so. After the death of their husband, they have either to burn themselves in the pyre of their husband, or they lived with the life of tears and blood. Women were the inferior members of the society. Yogmaya advocates the voice of all the Nepali women and their rights to live their life as they wish and be happy. She was against the customs of sati pratha, sati tradition, and you have already learned about sati tradition in grade 9. She had written Hazur Bani and tried to make people aware of no women are different. The rites Hindus perform during the death of a person was her concern too. The act of hallucinating the bereaved family in the name of sin was the main target of her campaign. She herself was the follower of Hinduism, and Pandit Prem Narayan in her kuti, her shelter, used to perform different Purans, but her threat and disregard was on the false interpretation of the religion which local feudal lords were spreading. Those bhajans and Hazurbani all were her creation for freedom with spirituality. Meditation and a path of enlightenment was the only concern of Yogmaya. Yogmaya, after her husband died in Assam, had laid herself to renunciation from all the worldly affairs. Those strict meditation in a cave, Panchagni in summer, and even no food while in meditation were the means she had laid herself for enlightenment. Those who recognize one's self can only recognize the feeling of others. Being a decent activist, she was an idol of forgiveness and sympathy. The then politics of Nepal was going through corruption. The landlords and those feudal lords of the villages were taking the surplus values of the granaries they were selling to the poor. Nepali society at that time was passing through the huge discrimination in the name of untouchability. These social problems had let Yogmaya not only be the spiritual leader but also the rebel, R-E-B-E-L, rebel. Her followers who supported her helped in her every decisions of a just society. but she became the target of Rana rulers and was jailed for 3 years and later had to take the decision of mass suicide. Mass suicide was like the event for all those followers who followed the Bhakti Marga. It was just the way they were transforming their lives. But in the history of any countries in the world, nobody had even dared such a thrilling act which those 67 people attempted. The daring act and boldness shown by a rural women should have written with golden letter, but unfortunately was not ever mentioned in our historical preaching or teaching. So, dear students, so I told you some information and the analysis of Yogamaya. Then our time is almost over. Next time we will go through the text. Thank you very much for your patience. Take care. Bye for today.